give value and not always just automatically hoping that someone is going to drop your name. Just legitimately be you, be out there, be available, answer questions when people have them, and your reputation will begin to build.
Angela is going to talk about how she gets her name shared. Like, I see her name all over the internet for her services, all over the web. So tell everyone hi, and how did you freaking do it?
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm loving these conversations. This is so fun.
It
And
is.
everything that everyone is sharing, I'm like, yes, that. And it's all the things. And like, there's so much I could say here about this, right? Because I've been in Emily's world, right? A unicorn for, I think it's like 3.5 years now, right? And when I first started, I was brand new. I am what I consider like an older demographic. I had like my own business experience, but I needed a change. And I think, like a lot of people, you come into this and you're like, how the heck am I going to actually make this work? And I just have to say, I remember like the very first client I got, and like so many of us, it was from the work group, having this immense feeling of like relief and joy and like, oh my gosh, I can actually make this work, right? But I did a lot of things wrong. Like a lot of people have talked about their systems and having your packages. And when I first started, I did not have any of that stuff like wrapped up, right? But what I really do lean into is relationships, making authentic connections with people, and actually really caring about people's businesses. And you would be surprised how quickly people begin to share your name when they get a sense that you're the real deal. And not that you're that person who knows everything, but that you're that person who legit cares about their business and is going to help them reach their goals. And so I could share a number of really cool examples of where my name was dropped, and I'll start with the first one, which was Emily, you. Like, you dropped my name. It was early days. I had come through UDMA. I was in the work group, but you shared my name in a group to someone that was a client of yours at one point who needed something. And do you know that person is still a client of mine today? Like, I can think of her, she's one of my OG clients, and she's still a client of mine. But I've actually had my name dropped by you in groups for a couple of different clients that I have worked with and still work with. So it is all about not being afraid to embrace what you're doing, raise your hand, and own it confidently, and know that if you don't know 100% what you're doing, you can figure it out. If you care and you're smart, and if you're here, then you are, that you can do what you need to do to get these clients results. But beyond that, just leaning into this whole idea about relationships, when we talk about people dropping your name, this isn't like salesy, "Oh, we're plugging one another inauthentically." I could legitimately point out several people on this call who are my, like, biz bestie crew, right? We create friendships. We do not think of one another as competition because there is so much work and we're all doing slightly different things. But I had another client that was referred by a peer, someone who, I was in a group with, who's also here, actually. I don't know if she's on this call right now, but dropped my name to someone in another group, and it landed me a $3,000 project. And I could give so many examples of this, of where it's not necessarily even where you are listed in a directory, which is fantastic, or applying where I'm reaching out. I very consistently have people come and find me for work because someone has dropped my name. Now, I do a lot of funnels. I do some ads, and so I'm more of like a funnel strategist, and I really love to get behind the scenes with all the tech and help people bring their products to out to the light of the day. Work with a lot of course creators and membership owners, and so I think the point I'm trying to make is you have to really just lean confidently into who you are, give value, and not always just automatically hoping that someone is going to drop your name. Just legitimately be you, be out there, be available, answer questions when people have them, and your reputation will begin to build. And it's really bizarre how the internet is such a huge place, but honestly, it's kind of a small world here. Like these networks really begin to become key places where you can be referred to, where people get to know your expertise. So anyway, that's a big long blah about all all the things and all
I
of
have a
the ways.
couple things I have a couple things I wanna unpack there, but I went over to my notes that I had, and I had written down before today, client acquisition equals relationships plus reputation, which is probably gonna be in my replay email, spoiler alert. But, like, that's really the thing here, and I wanna bring up another point, but first tell me who's actually name dropping you? Because it's beyond clients, right? It was me, and I know I have a lot of power and weight because 'cause I've been established in this place for a while, but who your
Yeah.
fellow unicorns, your sister service providers, like, who's name dropping you?
All of the above, like, my fellow unicorns and you guys, thank you, you know who you are, it's fantastic, but also other groups, like, we're all constantly learning, right? So I'm in other memberships, other groups where I'm learning alongside someone else. So for example, I'm in a little Mixermind group where we get together and when we chat and we have calls and we're talking to one another about our businesses, right? So this is just you're sharing what your own personal business struggles or your own business questions are, you're helping one another, and they learn more about you and what you're doing, and suddenly they're referring people that they know, "Oh, I know someone who needs someone for funnels," or, "I need someone who can set something up in Kajabi." And this just happened literally last week where I just signed a $2,000 project with someone because of a business colleague who happens to be in a similar course that I'm doing and says, "Oh, I know somebody who does that." So it's just this water wheel effect of just
Mhm.
putting yourself out there and being confident about what you do and being a good person. Like,
Yeah.
actually just, caring about what you're doing
I
because
wanna
I
back it up to what
yeah,
you did to get the name drop because I think that's really the element to know. Angela is very clear about what she does with her services. It took you a while to get there, but you were always kind of in the funnel tech realm because you like that from your past business. But it's very clear that Angela's name is synonymous. She is positioned. Like she did a whole training in the work group about Thrivecart and a walkthrough. So now all the 150 members of the work group know I can trust Angela for checkout tech. Right. And so it's showing up into these communities and these groups, not just the work group. It could be your local, like Boss Babes, Richmond, Virginia Facebook group for all I care, but showing up and being very clear about what you do so that your name is synonymous with that. And the next time somebody sees an opportunity, they're thinking about you. But it doesn't happen by not turning on your camera, not introducing yourself, not sharing your awkward fun fact or whatever these like breakout rooms make you do that work that you put into networking, even though it's not like showing up at a conference, it pays off in the internet. And like I've seen your name dropped in Facebook groups, Voxer groups, threads, I'm sure other places. I don't know, forums. I'm not on Reddit really. I don't know.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, it's just putting yourself out there, and there's one other thing I wanna say about that, because if you're new and you're at the very beginning stages, it
Mhm.
can feel really daunting, right? But the
Yeah.
thing is, you just start saying yes to being in the places where people are hanging out, and the other big thing about it is a mindset thing, and you probably could have a whole conversation about this, that if you're coming from a corporate background or you're coming from a job employee situation, right? This is a whole other thing. And you have to remember that people need you every bit as much as you need them. And when you begin to just own the fact that this is a symbiotic relationship between two people, I'm helping you, you're helping me. There's, even exchange value here, and you're just treating people like people rather than commodity, people really respond to that. Once you put yourself out there and you just allow yourself to connect with people, I could say that literally 90% of the people that I work with are over 50. They're women who really don't like tech. They're confused. They don't want to learn it. And they identify with me because they feel like they can trust me. And it's
Mhm.
always this thing where what you're putting out, you'll attract the people that are kind of vibing with who you are. And you won't be a fit for everybody, but you'll meet people and you will refer people from your group or whatever groups you're in. It's all this water wheel that just starts to result in tons of incoming. This is like a almost an embarrassing thing to admit. I feel like I might jinx myself if I say this, but I haven't actually had to seek out a client in like 2 years. Like I literally I don't wanna say, "Oh, they just come to me," because it's a result of the hard work that I do and the relationships I foster, but it really does work that way. You just get started and you get, like, as I said, that one client, and it just starts to build because you will start to get to refer. You'll get referred from unicorns, you'll get referred from other business peers. There's plenty of ways for people to find you, and so you just have to start showing up, doing your thing, and believing that you can do it.
That is, I think, one of the best wins, the relief that I don't have to go out there and do all this prospecting, which it's helpful to do some. It's helpful to stock out, like, ideal clients and get on their email list and engage with them on social, but the fact that you don't have to do any of those once you get this ball rolling, I mean, and there's another thing I wanna mention too, and I know we're gonna have Brittany talking about how to interact and engage inside Facebook groups and get clients from there too, so there's a little crossover here, but I know starting out not knowing anyone was a really, like, a sticking point for me. Like, I was an unknown, nobody knew me, and if I were starting over right now, I think about linking arms with a couple other people who were sister service providers, offered something similar, even if we had the same thing, because you can create your own secret alliance to refer each other and take over the internet, and that's exactly what our blessing of unicorns is doing. Like, we are riding on the name, my name, but also our own standalone name of being a trained unicorn marketer, and we can refer each other. And I'm curious if you have ever been strategic, because I don't think you think this way, but I'm sure you also give. I'm sure you also name drop. I'm sure it's like a whole cyclical karma thing for you, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, because it feels really good when you can refer someone who's trustworthy, and I know that the people who've come through your program, the people that are in the work group, there's base level of trust, and I think we've talked about the fact that your group does have a particular reputation around around the worldwide interwebs, right? That you have a reputation and that the people who are in your group, the people who come through your program, they're quality freelancers. It's almost like you're immediately setting yourself a few steps ahead of the average person
With
because
your
there's that
association.
trust factor.
Yeah.
People just automatically know, okay, that you care about your business enough to have come through these programs. But yeah, I can't say enough about just building that network, sharing and passing it on when you can, and being open to
Yep.
those referrals when they come. Because yeah, I can't stress enough how much I owe to my fellow unicorns, to you, to the people who drop my name in the way that they do. Like, that's what my business started with. I did not know anyone, was not in the online space in that way at all when I got started. And yeah, it's allowed me to grow way beyond what I would have expected.
Oh my gosh. I talk to a lot of peers, a lot of friends, and they're like, "Who do you know that does this, this, and this?" And so when I'm on my phone and I'm sitting at dance or soccer or in the car, a lot of times I'm doing my engagement time and I'm in there and I'm like, "Oh, somebody needs an ads manager. Like, let's throw, Stacy in there." And I'm like copying and pasting emails in there because I know that goes a long way. I can respond like, "Go through my form, hireaunicorn.com," but like that's so much more friction. That's a couple other steps for people. But if I'm like, here's a good person, she does funnels, here's Angela. And so a lot of times you'll see in the work group, I'll make these funky, vague posts where I'm like, I need 5 people right now who do this. It's because I see a really fucking good opportunity and I want to refer you. And that's kind of what's happening too. And it's not just me, like we have the power as unicorns to do that for each other. So thank you for being a part of the work group. I'm going to put you on the spot now. Do you have number of, like, maybe your ROI from the work group? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I don't even know that I could predictably say that because, and this is gonna sound like you did not tell me to say this. I make a joke about, like, the 3 degrees of separation, but, like, this whole thing about how actually every client that I've gotten, that I've worked with, has somehow come from either you, the work group, or the people that I've connected within the work group or their business owner. It's such, like this plant of many vines, like, it has really grown from there, like yes, Kevin Bacon, thank you. I'm like, "What's the phrase I'm trying to think of?" So, I couldn't actually put a number on it other than to say that it's been my only source of, um, job leads for me in the beginning, referrals from you and fellow unicorns, and then from there, the groups that I've involved myself in that are
Mhm.
offshoots of that. It's all come from that.
So I will take credit for all of your income. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
Thank you. And where can we connect with you, Angela?
Well, my website is crystalclearfunnels.com, or you can find me on Instagram with my slightly dusty presence there at
That's
Angela
fine.
Kiszka.
All right. All leads back go to Emily. That's so funny. The mother of unicorns.